Hi all, welcome to Try T Technologies. Please like, subscribe our channel, and also post your queries in the Telegram channel if you have any queries. So we are doing DevOps project. So I'll let you know what all the prerequisites required for this project, and also I'll explain you what we have done. So here, this project or this real-time project is totally done on based on process, like how DevOps process will be, how people work in the organizations. And I hope everyone will get a job after seeing this video, or you will get an idea of what exactly happens in the real time. And also in this project I have used tools, okay, so which are totally related to the DevOps, like Jenkins, Terraform, Kubernetes, and Ansible. Okay, so these are the major tools I have used, and also applications I have used Kafka, Elasticsearch, Elastic Beats, and Logstash with Kibana. And process we followed is agile process with Kanban boards, and you will have some Slack communication with the teams. So these are all the things which we have used. So what else you need to require? Okay, so you need to require, or you need to know DevOps before going to this project. So most important thing is you should know how Jenkins works, how you integrate Ansible with Jenkins, how you integrate Kubernetes with Jenkins, how you integrate Terraform with Jenkins, right? And also how you integrate GitHub with Jenkins. You should know Jenkins setup, and you should know how to troubleshoot Jenkins issues. For all these, I have already done a video with Jenkins 2022, or else you can go and watch DevOps Master Program. But these two are only in Telugu. Okay, so these two programs are in Telugu, but when you go and watch Jenkins 2022, you will understand most of the things, even if you don't know Telugu. So one more important thing is all the project videos are done in English. I have not done this in Telugu. This project is entirely in English so that everyone will have the help from us. Okay, so this project is totally on a real-time basis. Okay, so if you want to have Maven or all that stuff like Tomcat projects, Maven, Access, you know all those stuff already, and you will get a lot of projects online if you go and watch them. But whatever the project which we have given here, it's totally revolves around it real time, and there are huge number of organizations already using this project. And also there are a lot of chances for you to get into the job if you also work on the applications which I have mentioned here. Okay, so that is Kafka and Elasticsearch, but this is not mandatory, but very easy to learn tools. Okay, so Kafka is very easy to learn. I've already done Kafka end to end in our channel, that is also in Telugu. But if you want to know Kafka, if you don't know Telugu, you can go and watch Stephen Marek videos in the Udemy. So that those videos are very good, and most of the time he touches all the real time things in Kafka. So you guys can go and watch that video if possible, but that is not mandatory. And also all the tools which I have discussed here, okay, are available in our channel. You guys can go and watch them, then come to this project. And also one more important thing is you guys need to know Agile. Please go and watch this Agile video. It is both in English and also in Telugu. In 2022 I have done this in English, so you guys can go and watch, so that you all know what is Kanban boards, and also you will know how scrums happens. Here in this project I have used Kanban board for roughly, but I haven't used any scrums, but we have used Kanban boards in Jira tool. So you guys can go and watch them. And also Jira I have explained here in basics, but if you want to have total Jira, that will be coming soon. That will be coming soon in our channel. Okay, so I have not yet uploaded other two videos. I will do that very soon. But before going to that, you will already know what process will be there and how process will be done. Okay, so these are the prerequisites. Okay, so you should know DevOps and also the tools which are available in the DevOps. Thanks for watching this video, and all the best for you. I hope everyone will know or who are watching this will know entire process with 7 episodes. Okay, and also I hope you guys will get jobs in February, because there will be a huge number of openings in February, because in Jan, because of this Omicron, the flow of jobs has got delayed. Okay, so hope you guys will get into the jobs very soon, and all the best for you. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye. We have one of our friends, and also he's also going through DevOps. So he's Jain. So you all know that we are doing projects. So we are replicating a client and also the provider or customer. Okay, so client and customer interaction. Okay, so we just watch how it goes. Okay, so how things go when we are starting a new project. Okay, so this is the idea to start this video. Okay, so Jayant, we'll be starting a conversation. Okay, so I will be a new customer or new client. Okay, so coming or coming to your organization to build my infrastructure or to maintain my infrastructure or my requirements. Okay, so I'll put all the requirements to you. So if you have any queries, you will be posting those queries on behalf of our subscribers or on behalf of yourself, like whatever idea you have, like how you post questions. Okay, so all that stuff. Okay, so this is for the people who are at a level of a senior level or architect level. Okay, so we are doing for that. Even if you are having 1 to 5 years of experience also, it will be very beneficial, because most of you guys doesn't know what happens when you are in the beginning stage. Okay, so even when we are worked as a freshers. Okay, so or when we work in the organizations with 4 to 5, 6, 7 years of experience, we don't know what exactly happens on the back end, how we get projects and all that stuff. Okay, so this is a realistic conversation what happens with the clients. Okay, so Jayant, so I am acting as a Tri-Tree technologist. Okay, so I have a new requirement. So
Okay.
you will be acting as any organization. For example, you will be acting as a Infosys architect. Okay, so I'll put all my requirement to you, so that you will come up with all your ideas and your questions, like what you have and all that stuff. Okay,
Okay.
so here what exactly is we are going to start a new project. Okay, so new project in the sense, I already have an infrastructure where I have all my Linux and Windows boxes sitting in my infrastructure, and also I have around 400 to 500 infrastructure servers. Okay, so this is, I'll just represent in the whiteboard as well. Okay, so I have 400 servers, which includes Linux and also which includes Windows. So my requirement is, like I said, I have 400 servers with Linux and Windows boxes. So I want to have a environment, or I want to have a product where I need to see all these Linux data or logs or the KPIs, everything. I wanted to see this on a dashboard. Okay, so it might be any dashboard, but I want to see in a dashboard where how many servers I have, how many servers are up and running, and if something goes wrong on a server, what happened, what is happening on my application inside that server. Okay, so this is my requirement. Okay, so I want to
Yeah.
make this model into a CI/CD. So nothing but continuous integration and continuous development or deployment. Okay,
Okay.
so I want this in a DevOps model. So this is my requirement. So what exactly or how exactly I can go forward. Okay, so what will be your thoughts?
So, my initial thought is, as a part of requirements gathering from your side.
Right.
So, I am your aim is clear, so you want to see dashboards of your infrastructure performances. So my first thing what I want to know is um, who are the development side, so that who are the code writers, so that they can maintain the code in a common repository, um, so that
Okay,
we can
I got
propose
it.
a tool.
But the thing is, what we are doing here is first we need to focus on the infrastructure. Okay, so whenever you are from the client side, the
Yeah.
major thing that we need to concentrate is on the infrastructure. Okay, so what kind of infrastructure you guys are like looking for? Okay, so if I am from the Infosys, my
Yeah.
question will be like, what kind of infrastructure you will be looking for, and what
Okay.
like, is this an existing infrastructure, or you want to have a complete development or a CI/CD from our end, or where you are deploying this? Is this on the cloud, or is this on on premise, or you want to have these dashboards to be maintained on our end, or is these dashboards to be maintained on your infrastructure? Okay, so this will be
Yeah.
the first part of the discussion. Okay,
So,
so my as a trIT technologist, my answer will be, so this should be done on my infrastructure. Okay, so
okay.
everything is there, like everything is there in the sense all my Linux boxes are existing. Right now I'm monitoring with a different monitoring tool like Nagios or something. Okay, so but I'm not able to see the observability of what is happening. Like I want to have an observability kind of dashboard, so with all the
Okay.
KPIs what we are doing right now, and also and also which includes the observability. Okay, so this is
Okay.
my requirement, and everything should be on premise. Okay, so on
Yeah.
premise in the sense in my environment, Trity Technologies
Yeah.
environment. Okay, so it will be sitting in my own data center, or it will be sitting on my own cloud. Okay, so I'm not going to put this into any other data centers or any other third party on premise, or not going to have this on AWS, Azure, on any cloud. Okay, so this will be entirely on my on premise. Okay,
Yeah.
because here one more thing is, people might get questions. So whoever are watching this video, they might get a question saying that, okay, what happens if if client wants to have dashboards in Infosys environment, or Infosys will be partnered with all the clouds like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. Okay, so if client comes to the Infosys and says that my environment is this, and you need to monitor my environment, or I need dashboards on a cloud which is owned by you. Okay, so here what happens is, again you need to have all the network configuration from the Infosys to Trity Technologies. You need to have VPN tunnels, you need to configure all the network tunnels, so that you can fetch the data from Trity Technologies to the Infosys dashboards. Okay, but that is a different scenario, but we are not doing that. Okay, so here my scenario is pretty clear, that I want to have everything in my on-premise
Yeah.
data center. Okay,
So,
so yeah,
yeah, two things are clear from this conversation. The first thing is, apart from technical things, first thing and first point you mentioned is uh, the infrastructure point. So
right,
what is the infrastructure you are maintaining at your side? Because we need to maintain everything on premise on your systems, right? So it is not hosted on Infosys environment. So the
right,
first thing is, what is the infrastructure you are using, and second thing is, you said already we need to work on your on-premise environment, so there is
right,
no point of connection like VPN connections, especially to connect to any of the infra on the cloud or something. So these 2 points are clear. One is infra, and the second is connection will be directly doing on your infrastructure.
correct. So we
Okay.
are not having any VPN tunnels here. Okay, so we are not
Okay.
maintaining any tunnels between two organizations,
Okay.
data centers. Okay, so the
Yeah.
next thing will be like, what will be your question, like how you will approach, like, because I'm not sure, like as a Trity technologist, I'm not sure like what kind of tools you use for the CI/CD, what kind of infrastructure you need to have. Okay, so how you will approach, like because you need to come up with the tools and an idea of what exactly you can do.
Yeah. Okay. So next thing what I want to prepare is I want to prepare a roadmap or a blueprint with all
Right.
the requirements you have proposed. So to satisfy those requirements, so for example, you said that you maintain 400 to 500 servers.
Right.
So on that, for example, you want to install any monitoring agents like Linux Beats. So to maintain that, we propose a tool called Ansible from DevOps tools. So based on all the requirement gatherings, this will be anyway CI/CD pipeline, right? Jenkins is the best tool
Right.
currently in the market. So
Okay.
Jenkins automation can be happen with Jenkins. And the second thing is using Ansible, we can deploy the whatever the agents required on all the 400 servers. We can do that. And to collect the data, because this is a real time data, there is a good tool called Kafka, which is a real time streaming software,
Right.
messaging software, Kafka. So we can gather all the log files using Kafka, and we can present on the dashboards. Say for example, we have tools like Kibana.
Okay.
uh, we can propose all these tools. So my next work is to prepare a diagram saying that on the paper,
Right.
so that with a presentation you can be actually um, given all the things required for your satisfaction of your aim.
Right. So everything went properly here. But one more thing is, when as an Infosys architect or a client, or when you are talking to the client, okay, so the best approach is that you may already have this setup in your environment, okay, or you may already have a team which have this setup, okay. So we can let them know that, okay, so okay, we already have a team who is managing similar kind of client, where we'll be doing all the observability of the systems, okay. So you can let them know that what kind of things you are going to, like, you have, okay. So
Yeah,
like you
correct.
said, Ansible, Jenkins, or Elastic Beats, Kafka, Elasticsearch, Kibana, all this stuff, okay. So here the best approach is to have the roadmap, okay, like you said, like we need to have a roadmap, what exactly it looks like, okay. So what exactly they are looking for. If you have any sample dashboards which is been already done, you can showcase that in the next meeting. Or if you have already like if you have a team already who is working on that, you can bring that architect into this conversation in the next call, okay. So this is the approach we can we can move forward with, okay. So here this is a conversation, okay. The first conversation will be the requirement, okay. So this is the requirement, this is what we required, okay. So now as an Infosys person or an Infosys architect or a client, okay, so what we will do is, so we go to, like I said, we see like what all the teams, like if there are any teams already existing with this environment, like who are already working with this kind of architecture, we'll approach them and we'll ask them to give a blueprint of what they are doing. So we'll modify according to the like a new client, and we'll approach to the new client, we'll say that this is what the flow, okay. So the flow will be like, now you have 400 Linux with Windows boxes. So what we will do is we will install all the Elastic Beats on all the servers. So by installing Elastic Beats, we'll pull all the data which will have the logs information, which will have the service information, which will have process information, system level information like CPU, memory, disk, and also the application level, component level information, okay. So we can pull all this data by installing the bits, okay. So it might be a file bit, it will be a file bit, metric bit, heartbeat and packet beat. So using these bits, we can fetch all this data, and after fetching the data, we need to push that to the dashboard. So that is the clear picture. Okay, so what is the requirement and what tool you are using, okay, and how this happens in between. Okay, so this is where DevOps team comes into the picture. Okay, so here now we need to have a DevOps architect who will guide us. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pull a DevOps architect and we'll ask him like, this is a requirement, so we need to have this in a CI/CD format. Okay, so these are the tools which other team is already using. So these are the tools we need to put in. Okay, so if you have any new tools which you are working also, they can come up with those ideas. Okay, but it's always better that we go with the existing tools or existing teams which they are using. It will be very easy to model, okay, or it is very easy to picturize things. It is very easy to design things. Okay, so that is how we approach to the new clients. Okay, so here now everything is clear. Okay, so the DevOps architects comes here. Okay, so when as a DevOps architect or a DevOps engineer or a senior DevOps engineer, so you don't know what conversation has happened till now. Okay, so till now the conversation is between the client and the customer, like the TriTech Technologies and the Infosys. As a DevOps engineer, you don't know anything. If any developer is there, he don't know anything. Okay, whoever the backend engineers are there, they don't know anything what is happening. Or cloud engineers are there, they don't know anything what has happened. Okay, so here what happens is there will be an internal meeting which involves a developer team and a DevOps architect and a cloud architect. Okay, so whoever is required. Okay, so and also a Linux administrator team. Okay, so it might be cloud team or a Linux administrator team. It totally depends on the organization. Okay, so in my point of view, Infosys will have a different Linux plus Ansible team, and they will have a different cloud team, and also they will have a different DevOps team. Okay, so these three teams architects will be sitting together. Okay, so now as a DevOps architect, or when you are thinking as a DevOps engineer, you should know what exactly you need to know what exactly you are doing. Okay, and also what exact the client requirement is. Okay, so whoever are watching this video, whenever you are attending an interview, whenever you are explaining a project to the person or a interviewer, you should know who is your client, what exactly the requirement is, what exactly you are delivering to them. Okay, so here you have already heard all the conversation between us. Okay, now you know who is the client. Okay, so you are working for the Infosys as a DevOps engineer. So your client is TriTech Technologies. So what exactly they are looking for? They want all the log data, everything in a observability dashboard. Okay, so they are looking for a dashboard. So that is the end product. Okay, you should always know that who is the client, what is the end product you are delivering as a DevOps engineer. This thing, lot of people are missing this. Okay, because you guys are doing a simple project from a YouTube or any other projects. Okay, and you're just picking that and you are not sure like what exactly you are delivering. This is what you are exactly delivering. Okay, so here as a DevOps architect, if anyone is working if anyone is having a higher experience, more than 5 to 8 or 8 to 10, okay, so these guys will involve here. Okay, so you guys will be involving here, saying that okay, what are the tools you're already using in an existing project. Okay, so if you are already having an existing observability dashboards, you will give them a clear picture, like okay, so you will be installing beats on a Linux box, and how you install. Okay, so this is the question definitely will be asked by the client, because I have 400 to 500 servers. So how you will be installing this beat agents on the Linux boxes or Windows boxes? So simple thing here is you will be using a configuration management tool, that is Ansible. Okay, so using Ansible. Okay, so how you use Ansible? You will integrate that Ansible with the Jenkins, and from Jenkins you will be having a continuous integration with the Ansible, and you will be continuously deploying those beats agent on the Linux boxes. Why I am saying this is, Beats versions will be changing every time. Okay, so maybe Elastic Beats version, you may get a new version in 6 months. So you need to update that. Okay, so whenever you download that and put that in a GitHub, okay, so it will automatically push that code to the Jenkins. From Jenkins, again, it will go and put that on your Linux boxes. Okay, so this is the tool where you need. Okay, so again, whenever you are fetching the data, so how will you process this data? Okay, so there will be a data pipeline. The data pipeline, in the sense, you'll fetch all the data, all the information from the Linux boxes. You need to put that in a elastic search. Okay, so how will you process all this data is a data pipeline. Okay, so you need to design this, you need to create an architecture as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so as a DevOps engineer, you need to create an architecture saying that, okay, so this data is coming here, Jenkins will be the person who will be processing this using Ansible, or installing this, and the data which is coming out will be going to Kafka or going to any other middleware like MQ. From there it is going to Logstash, from Logstash to Elasticsearch, Elasticsearch to you will be displaying all the Kibana dashboards. Okay, so here a lot of people, lot of guys who are watching this video might get a doubt saying that, okay, who will be the developer here? Okay, so we are not maintaining any developers here in our project because we don't want to develop any code here, Java or all that such stuff, because there is lot of like, you can find hundreds of projects in the YouTube, and also you can find hundreds of projects in Udemy or everywhere. Okay, so using Java, Maven, all that stuff. Okay, so we are not using all that stuff here. Okay, so this is a realistic project where we are using Elastic Bits, which is downloaded from the Elastic website. Okay, and also will be using Kafka, which is downloaded from the Kafka, Apache Kafka, and we'll be having Logstash and also Elasticsearch, Kibana, where we'll put all this code in a GitHub. Okay, so this GitHub, okay, or these binaries will act as developers. We'll put that in GitHub. From there we'll create a data pipeline as well as Jenkins CI/CD pipelines. Okay, so here we are covering two things. One is a data pipeline and also the Jenkins CI/CD pipelines. So as a DevOps engineer, now I will ask, like, now you know, right? Okay, so as an Infosys people, you guys have came together, you know everything. Now you come to Trity Technologies. You guys will come to Trity Technologies and you will say that, okay, this is my requirement. So what, sorry, this is the roadmap. Okay, so this is what required. So what I will do is, okay, I will see this architecture diagram, whatever the roadmap you have given. So I will say that, okay, this is fine. The tools and all that such stuff is fine. Okay, so now I will say, like, I will give an approval to go ahead. Okay, so what will be your next step as a Infosys person?
My next thing is, after checking the roadmap, we'll start implementing, actually as a prototype. Means not fully. We want
But
to
before moving to the
try.
prototype, we need to have infra ready.
Yeah, infra will be
So again, like, you guys will be coming up with the what do you say, list of servers. Okay, so now my point is clear. Okay, so I'll say, like, okay, I'm fine with the architecture and everything. So I want to have the cost, right? Even if
yeah.
it is a self on premise. Okay, so I need to create my ESXi, like using ESXi, I might create VMs, or I might have, I might be using a private AWS cloud, or I might be using a private cloud, whatever cloud it is, IBM private cloud. Okay, so I want to have a clear structure of servers required. Okay, so I also clear structure of configuration required. Okay, so the next step will be, I'll be asking you guys, like, to give me a clear structure. Okay, so, or clear configuration of the servers.
Oh, okay. That means we can prepare an Excel sheet, actually,
Right.
mentioning what are the values of CPUs, RAM usage of those specific infrastructure,
Right.
and how many servers are needed, what is the hardware. software requirements. So
Right.
we can give a form like that.
Right. So you will be coming up with the infrastructure. So what I'll do is, as a try to technologies infra like client. So I will request you for the server list, okay, configuration list at least, okay. So because Kafka will have a different configuration, Jenkins will have a different configuration in the sense, Kafka will need 4 GB RAM, whereas Jenkins might need only 2 GB RAM. Jenkins might need two master nodes, two slave nodes, okay. So you guys need to come up with the Excel sheet or a proper configuration management sheet saying that, okay, these are all the configurations required, okay. So
Yeah.
when you come up with the configuration file, then I will send that file or the uh, details with the cloud team, okay, my cloud team, so that they will deploy the infrastructure, and we'll see like how you guys can come into our organization servers, like how you can log into our VPN, how you can log into our jump host, how you can access those servers, okay. So that comes in a later part, okay. So the next part will be designing the infrastructure configuration file, okay. So this will be our next task, okay. So this is what the base of the base of our project, okay. So whatever we have done till now, okay. So this is the base of our project. So next thing is like how and what required to deploy this architecture, okay. So I want you guys, and also Jayant, I
Yeah.
want you to prepare a architecture diagram and also a configuration management sheet, so that we can go or we can move forward in this project. And also whoever are watching this video, guys, you need to stop this here. This is just a part 1, okay. So in part 2, okay, before going to the part 2 video, try to create an architecture diagram of what I have explained right now. It might not be totally clear for you guys, but as a DevOps engineer, how you will approach, okay, how will you approach to find this solution, or what is your approach to give a better solution to the client, okay. So my Linux boxes will be installed with elastic beats, okay. This is elastic beats, guys, okay. So elastic search, elastic beats, okay. This is not AWS product, okay. This is an elastic product, okay. So elastic beats, from elastic beats it will go to Kafka. From Kafka it will go to Logstash. From Logstash it will go to Elasticsearch. From Elasticsearch in Kibana we will be creating the dashboards, okay. So I want this to be in a CI/CD model, which is in a DevOps model, okay. So this is what the DevOps model, okay. Then we'll also discuss about the timelines and everything in the next coming part, okay. But you guys need to go to the part 2 by preparing a simple architecture or a configuration management sheet, okay. So you guys might have a doubt like what exactly configuration management tool is, okay. So you need to prepare an Excel sheet by saying like what kind of flavor we will be using. Flavor in the sense Linux or Windows. If it is Linux, what Linux flavor it will be. Is it a Red Hat? Is it a Ubuntu? Is it a SUSE or CentOS? Okay. So you need to mention that. What is the number of CPUs required for that product for Jenkins? What is the memory? What is the disk? Okay. Same way you need to have for everything, and also make sure that you present the architecture diagram with proper port numbers required for that particular application. For example, if you are going for the Jenkins, mention in the Excel sheet that what kind of port it should have, okay, 8080. Or if you are going for any other products like Elasticsearch 9200, Kibana, okay, so 9200 for Kibana, okay. So you need to mention all those ports. For Kafka 9092 or 9093, or if you want to design any other port, okay. So So you need to mention all this stuff in the configuration sheet. Okay, so without doing that, don't go to the part 2, because this will give you a lot of confidence to get into interviews. Okay, so make sure that you prepare this architecture diagram and also the configuration management tool. So this is your next task.
I have a generic question actually.
Right.
So you said DevOps engineer or senior DevOps engineer, DevOps architect will come into the picture
Right.
during the conversations. So as a DevOps engineer or architect, what is the main area of concern for us? For example, if it is the Jenkins, we need to have end-to-end knowledge on Jenkins, what is happening exactly.
Right.
Do we need to have all the tools technically in-depth knowledge, or at least Jenkins we need to have in-depth knowledge?
Right.
What is the expertise level we should have on other tools? Like it is only knowledge wise, or otherwise we need to get hands on programmatically, or etc for other tools also.
Right. So a lot of people have this question. Okay. So the thing is, when you're working for an organization, like I said, you will have Linux plus Ansible team. Okay. So most of the Linux administrator will do Ansible job. Okay. And also you will have Kafka administrators separately. You will have Kubernetes team separately. You will have all these teams separately. But as a DevOps engineer, why you should know all this stuff? Because in Jenkins you should know how to integrate Ansible, right? And you should know what exactly that playbook does. At least you should know a simple module of ping or shell modules. At least you should know that, because you are not going to write any playbooks as a DevOps engineer if you're working on a particular organization, if you are working in a CMMI level 5 MNCs. Okay, but if you're going for the startup organizations, definitely you should know what that Ansible playbook does, and also they will expect you to know the Ansible. If you don't have a separate team, okay, so definitely they will expect you to write a simple Ansible playbook. Okay, so that is one that every time it depends on the organization. And also when I'm talking about integration of Kubernetes, also the same thing. And also if someone comes and says that in our requirement also we need to write a Kafka playbook where it will run from the Ansible to install on a Linux box. But as a Kafka administrator, why I know Ansible, right? I don't know Ansible. I'm just a Kafka administrator. So here what happens is, this Kafka administrator should sit with the Ansible engineer or a DevOps engineer who knows Ansible to write this playbook and to integrate that with the Jenkins. Same thing happens with the Kubernetes. Okay, if you are not an expert of the Kubernetes, definitely a Kubernetes team will have. You will be interacting with them and you will be deploying that, right?
Yeah.
People also will say to get to know about Terraform. Okay, but you will not be a cloud architect, or you are not a cloud administrator to deploy the cloud infrastructure from Jenkins. Okay, so again here you need to contact cloud architects. You need to contact a Terraform developer. If you as a DevOps engineer know how to write Terraform, again you need to go and contact the cloud administrator to get the permission to deploy the infrastructure, because I cannot write a I cannot write a Terraform code and I cannot deploy that automatically on any cloud, right? I need to have a proper approvals from the cloud team. I need to get proper approvals from the cloud team. Then only I can deploy there. Okay. So it is always an interaction with the team members, or interaction with the tools, cloud architects, Linux admins, and Ansible architects, and also with Kubernetes architects, even with the developers. Okay, so even whoever are writing the code.
Yeah. Can I confirm that it mainly depends on the organization preferences?
Right.
And
but right now in the situation, in the market situation, You guys need to know these tools,
Okay.
right? At least you need to know what that tool is doing, because without knowing that, you cannot integrate that blindly, and you cannot say that it is hitting or it is writing that playbook, or the playbook is successful or it got failed, this module got failed. You cannot say that. Okay, so this is very important that you guys should know the basics of what you are doing.
Okay. So the main area of concentration will be Jenkins because it is integrating each and every other tools.
Right,
And other tools we need to have at least basic level of knowledge on each and every tool um,
right.
to get the
That's true.
things
That's true.
done. Yeah.
Because as a DevOps engineer, the CI/CD maintaining of that pipeline is what the DevOps engineer job is. Simple. Okay. So a lot of people will say a lot of things they'll do. They'll say this has to be done. This has to be done. You need to know Ansible. You need to know this stuff. You need to know that stuff. The main job of the DevOps engineer is to maintain that pipeline. You need to make sure that continuous integration and deployment is happening without any delays or without any breaks. Okay, so if something goes wrong on that perspective or on that pipeline, then DevOps engineers, the first job comes.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
so whoever are watching this video, guys, you need to prepare the architecture diagram and also the configuration management sheet or configuration sheet, so that we can go forward into our project. Hi all, welcome to Trity Technologies. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Don't forget to comment about your queries and feedbacks. Join Telegram channel, and if you have any queries, post there. So we are doing episode 2 of the project. You might have already seen the episode 1. So please go and watch the episode 1, and also you guys got a clear picture of how client and customer discusses about the project. And also have already given you a task in the episode 1 that you guys need to come up with an architect diagram, and also you need to come with the configuration management document. Okay, so we'll see like how that looks like. Okay, so first of all, what exactly required to have these documents. Okay, so we have already discussed about the project. We know who is the client, right? So we are working for Infosys, and client of the or client for the Infosys is Trity Technologies, right? So Trity Technologies requirement is to monitor all their 400 servers, right? To monitor all these 400 servers and to prepare the dashboards. So this is the requirement and this is the outcome. So this will be seen by all the stakeholders, so whoever it might be. Okay, so Trity Technologies will have their managers, their team leads, their team members. Okay, so everyone need to look into this dashboard, so that whenever they go and check this, they should know like what is happening on this infrastructure. Okay, so this is the requirement. So I've already asked to prepare the architecture diagram for this. Okay, so if you have not done, okay, so please go and do it at least. Okay, so because I've already talked about the tools what we are going to use, because this is an on-premise environment. So when you're talking about on-premise environment, they already have 400 servers, right? So Trity Technologies are already having 400 servers. So these servers should be monitored using Elastic Stack, right? That is ELK. So how you approach to enable this project? So first of all, what we need to get from these 400 servers. So from these 400 servers, we definitely need to get the logs. We definitely need to get the services, what all the services are running. We need to get the system level information. We need to get the process level information. And also if there are any applications installed on that server, we need to get that application level information, right? So to manage or to bring all this information to the Elastic, we have a product called Elastic Beats. Okay, so what is elastic beats? Okay, so elastic beats is nothing but we have different types of beats. Okay, so one is metric beat, one is file beat, one is heartbeat, and one more thing is packet beat. Okay, so we can use all this to the Linux boxes. If it is Windows box, we will have winlog beat. Okay, metric bit we can also use for Windows, heartbeat we can also use for Windows, packet bit we can also use for Windows, but in place of file bit we are using winlog bit for the Windows. Okay, so these are the bits. Okay, so if you want to go and check what exactly bits does, you can go to the elastic.co page. Okay, so you can search for all these bits and you can search for all the definitions exactly what these beat files are doing out there. Okay, so this is the tool, or this is a software which is required to be installed on these 400 servers, right? So that is our main agenda, to install these beats onto these 400 servers, so that we'll get all these logs information which will be extracted by these beats. Okay, so after that, how you will collect the data? Okay, so you need to have a data pipeline for this, because you are collecting huge amount of data and you are moving that to the dashboards. Okay, so here you need to have a data pipeline in your architecture, and also you need to have your CI/CD pipeline. So you need to have two concepts here. Okay, so one is we are covering DevOps, one is we are covering data pipelines. So here we'll try to talk about data pipelines. Okay, so how data pipelines will be created and what will be the purpose of these data pipelines. Okay, so collecting huge number of data and to put this data into any database is a huge task. Okay, so and also you need to see a database where it will handle huge number of data, or a huge pipeline of data. So the best example is the Elasticsearch, where it will act as a database which will store, and also it will help us to write some queries so that we can get whatever the data we required, or whatever the data we want to show up in the dashboards. Okay, so I've already done a basic first video. Okay, so if you go for the Elasticsearch in our channel, okay, so I've already given the description of what Elasticsearch is, how it works and what it does. Okay, so you guys can go and watch that. You no need to be an expert because you're a DevOps engineer. Okay, so you're not an Elastic engineer, Elastic professional. Okay, so you guys can go and see what exactly it does. Okay, so that is very important. So to create this pipeline, you need to have a architecture in place. Okay, so most of the times whenever you are getting a huge number of data from the servers. Okay, so for example, these are my 400 servers data. So huge data is coming through. So I need to send this data into Elastic, right? So this is what we need. So it should be the Elastic with Kibana dashboard. Okay, so Kibana dashboard will show up all the details as per our queries. So to move this data from here to here, for example, something went wrong here. Okay, so if something went wrong here, the data which is coming here, it will be coming through, and also it will be lost, right? And also you need to have someone in between who picks these messages, sends it to Elastic. Okay, so first job is, there is something called Logstash. Okay, so Logstash is the one which picks the data, which sends the data to the Elastic. Okay, you can directly configure input data from bits and output data to Elastic, but here my information, okay, so whatever the information is I'm getting, it's a very important data. Okay, so I don't want to miss any data if something goes wrong, and I don't want the data to be lost. Okay, so for this case, most of the times we'll use any one of the middlewares. Okay, so in middleware we can use Kafka, you can use RabbitMQ. Okay, so we have RabbitMQ, and also you can use IBM MQ, you have Microsoft MQ. Okay, MQ is nothing but messaging queue. Okay, so we have RabbitMQ. Okay, so messaging queue, and we have Kafka. Kafka is a product of Apache. Okay, so to make sure that my data is not lost, what I will use is I will also use Kafka here in my data pipeline so that I can store data in Kafka. Kafka is the one which stores data within the Kafka. It also acts as a database. Okay, so it is not a huge database, but you can store how many days of data you require. Okay, so for example, Kafka stores 7 days of data by default. If you want to increase this date, you can increase. And also, if you want to know what is Kafka, I've already given a end-to-end Kafka in our channel, in the YouTube channel. There is 4 hours video for Kafka, okay, but it is in Telugu. But if you are not sure, like if you are not aware of Telugu, you can also go to the Udemy and you can see Kafka videos of Stephen Marek, okay. So he just defines pretty clearly of what is Kafka, okay. So this is just to know, okay. So it's not like you are not an Kafka administrator, remember that, okay. So you need to know what Kafka does here, okay. So when you are writing pipelines, you should know what Kafka does, okay. So what exactly it is doing here, okay. So what happens here now is the data, okay. So whatever these data in a 400 servers, it is coming to Kafka. From Kafka, it will go to Logstash. Like Logstash will act as an interface and it will send it to Kafka. So here in Logstash, will give input as Kafka, output as Elastic. Okay. So this will be configured in the Logstash. And whenever there is a problem or something went wrong on this data pipeline, the data goes and sits in Kafka. And when we see that there is a network issue, and when we repair that, or when we see that when we resolve this issue, it will again pick messages from Kafka and it will throw to Elastic. So there will be no data loss at all, okay. So we are not going to see any data loss, because for example, if something went wrong on this server, okay, 5 days back, so someone has realized that something went wrong on the server 5 days back, so I need data, I need dashboard to check like what happened 5 days back. And also there will be requirements like, for example, so this project we had a like complete setup, okay. So now we are running this project from last 6 months, okay. So we can check the data like for last 6 months, and also we can compare the data like what exactly happening on the servers, okay. So here for 3 months it is normal, but when you see on 4th month, 5th month, 6 months, 6th month, you are seeing like there is some unusual thing happening, or memory which is used by the servers are increased, or there is lot of performance issues in the application. And you can go and check, you can observe what is happening on this servers by comparing with the old data, okay. So like it might be last year's data, it might be last month's data, okay. So how much of data you'll be storing in the organizations, okay. So here most of the organizations, as per the standards, they will store 1 year of data, okay. So it might be in any form, it might be in archived form, it might be in cold form, warm form, whatever it might be, okay. But they will store the data for 1 year, okay, so that will be easy for them to compare the statistics or the performance of the servers or any other tool, so that how it is behaving and how it is performing. When load increases, how it is performs, like how when there is no load, how much data, how much resources it is utilizing, okay. So you can compare all the things and you can give your dashboards to the customer like what is happening exactly, okay. So now you guys know the data pipeline, like how we are going to create the data pipeline, okay. So this is the data pipeline. So we are using Elastic Beads on Linux, and we are using Kafka in between to store the messages and to process the messages. We are using Logstash, and also to store all this data we are using Elasticsearch, and also to display this we are using Kibana, okay. So now there will be like huge number of people already working in the organizations, okay. So few of them not working, but few of them are already working in the organizations. They might have these kind of setup, this where there is no CI/CD here. We have not involved any DevOps concepts, we have not involved any agile methodologies, we have done nothing here. It's a plain normal architecture of the data, or a project where you guys already working on, are you already aware of? Okay, so a lot of you guys are doing this Java project and creating a var file, then making an image, then putting that image on a infrastructure. Okay, so how like a plain thing looks like. Okay, so this is where we have not injected anything. Okay, so we have not injected any CI CD pipelines here. Okay, so this is the method where there is no concept of DevOps involved yet. Okay, so now after this, okay, so now you know, right? So now you know how project is designed. Okay,